Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Secretary of Health and Human Services, was caught on tape trying to get a libertarian candidate running for office in Iowa's 2nd Congressional District to drop out so that he didn't siphon away Republican votes. And in exchange, that candidate who drops out would get something. But Kennedy couldn't go into details because that would be illegal. The individual was Rick Stewart, the Libertarian candidate in Iowa's 2nd Congressional District. And Kennedy told him on a recorded phone call that he was acting as a liaison for the White House, and he warned that a Democratic takeover of the House would derail President Donald Trump's agenda and suggested he could help Stewart if he exited the race. I can't go into specifics because there's legal prohibitions about that, Kennedy told Stewart in the June 11th call. If something that you want to talk about, you and I can talk about specifics. Stewart said he interpreted the call as a clear, if carefully worded, attempt at a quid pro quo. He was very careful about the words that he used, but the whole implication is, you help us, we'll help you. Kennedy, of course, is a lawyer by trade, and he understands things, right? You can't say certain words, and again, I spent 20 plus years in the legal industry, and I've said repeatedly, there's a reason I don't use certain words or why I phrase things a certain way. And I worked with Kennedy for a long time. Not only was he the co-host of Ring of Fire when I worked there, but he was also of counsel to the law firm that I worked at. Back then, he was, as left as they could come. But he has changed, he has morphed, he started chasing money and pseudoscience, and the rest is history. But he does choose his words very carefully. But that does not mean that this isn't likely prosecutable. Even an implied quid pro quo is illegal. You don't have to say, by the way, this is a quid pro quo. An implied quid pro quo will also get you prosecuted. It's also, by the way, likely a Hatch Act violation for a federal official to be using their office or their power or even just the supplies they got in office for partisan political purposes. So, two very different ways to prosecute Kennedy on this particular issue. And by the way, that's not the only phone call he made. Marco Battaglia, a libertarian running in Iowa's 3rd district, said Kennedy made a similar unrecorded appeal to him on June 8th, warning that the House could flip to Democrats if Battaglia stayed in the race. Battaglia said he rebuffed Kennedy, invoking the legacies of Kennedy's father and uncle. So, all of this, likely hugely illegal. But it also begs the question, as the Secretary of Health and Human Services, why are you the one doing this? Right? This seems like a phone call that should have been made by Susie Wiles, right? Or literally anyone inside the Oval Office. I mean, hell, it honestly would have made even more sense for somebody like Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general, to make these phone calls, but instead he picks Kennedy. And it's because of his name. He thinks oh, well, this is a Kennedy. Obviously, people take what Kennedys have to say very seriously. And then these libertarians pick up their phone and they hear this hey, how are you doing today? Probably thought, hey, we got a bad connection here, man. Why don't you call me back and clear the line? But either way, this is the sort of thing that needs to be investigated. And even if Kennedy did in fact choose his words very carefully, the interpretation of that by the people who received the phone call was that it was a quid pro quo. And in many instances, for the law to be enforced, that's all you need. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.